There is an old man in our community. His name is Jonas. He is 91 years old this spring. Last winter I watched him split a full cord of firewood, by himself, in the cold. He set the log up, he swung the axe, and the wood fell apart clean in two. Then he did it again, and again, for most of the morning. He does not take a pill for his heart. He does not take a pill for his blood. He does not take a pill to sleep, or a pill to wake up, or a pill for the ache in his knees, because there is no ache in his knees. There is no pill box on his shelf. There is no orange bottle by his bed. In 91 years, Jonas has swallowed almost nothing that came from a store. Now I want you to sit with that for a moment. Because somewhere in your house right now there is probably a shelf. And on that shelf there are bottles, one for the pressure, one for the sugar, one for the cholesterol, one to help you sleep, and one to fix what the first one did to your stomach. Maybe it is your shelf, maybe it is your mother's or your father's, and it grows a little longer every single year, every visit to the doctor, one more bottle and one more. And you have been told your whole life that this is just what happens, that this is aging, that the body wears out, the numbers go bad, and the pills are what hold it all together at the end. You were told that a long and healthy life is bought at the pharmacy counter, one prescription at a time. I am here to tell you that you were told wrong. My name is Samuel Yoder. I am an old man now myself. I have lived my whole life among the plain people, and I have buried my share of friends, and I have sat with my share of the sick and the dying. So I do not say what I am about to say lightly, and I do not say it to sell you a dream. I say it because I have watched it with my own two eyes for 70 years. The Amish do not stay healthy because of a secret herb. There is no magic root growing behind our barns that the doctors are hiding from you. I want to be honest with you from the very first minute, because a man who oversells the truth is no better than a man who lies about it. The Amish stay healthy because of the way we live. That is the whole of it. The way we move, the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we carry our worry, and the way we lean on one another. Not one thing, a dozen small things done every single day for a whole life. And here is the part that ought to sit heavy on you tonight. Every single one of those things is free. Every one of them is yours to take. And nobody makes a dollar when you do them, which is exactly why nobody ever taught them to you. So sit with me a while. Let the bottles stay on the shelf. I am going to walk you through how an old Amish man reaches 90 and still swings an axe. And I promise you, by the end, you will not think about that pharmacy shelf the same way ever again. The first thing you have to understand is the one thing the modern world got the most backwards, and it is about your body and how it was meant to move. You were sold a lie about exercise. You were told that health is something you go and get, that you drive to a building, you pay a fee at the door, you climb onto a machine that goes nowhere, and you sweat for 45 minutes, and then you drive home and sit for the rest of the day. Sit at the desk, sit in the car, sit on the couch. And that little island of exercise in the middle of a whole sea of sitting is supposed to keep you well. It does not work. And in your heart you already know it does not work, because you have tried it, and the numbers on the doctor's chart did not much care. Now let me tell you how Jonas lives instead. Jonas does not exercise, not 1 minute of it. He has never seen the inside of a gym, and if you described one to him he would laugh at you. But Jonas moves from the moment his feet hit the floor in the morning until the moment he lies back down at night. He walks to the barn, he carries the feed, he forks the hay, he milks by hand, and milking by hand is harder work than any machine you will ever sit on. He walks the fence line, he bends and he lifts, and he reaches and he squats down to the low work, and he stands back up 100 times, 200 times, all day long, without once thinking of it as exercise. Because to him it is not exercise. It is just the day. It is just living. And here is the marvel of it. That is exactly what the body was built for. Not the hard sprint and then the long sit. The body was built for the long, slow, all-day move. Gentle work, spread across every hour of light. That is the thing that keeps the blood moving through an old man's legs so they do not swell. That is the thing that keeps the heart strong and steady without ever straining it. That is the thing that keeps the sugar from pooling in the blood, because a body that is always moving is always burning, quietly, all day long. You do not need the gym. You never did. You need to move a little, and to move often, and to keep moving until the sun goes down. That is the first stone in the wall. But I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, Samuel, I cannot go milk a cow. I have a job. I live in a town. You are right, and I am not asking you to become Amish. I am asking you to steal the shape of the thing. Stand when you can sit. Walk when you can stand. Take the stairs the young ones avoid. Carry the load yourself instead of rolling it. Get up from that chair every half hour and move your body through the house, because it is the sitting still that is killing you far more than any single thing you eat. Break the sitting. That alone will do more for you than any machine in any gym in the country. Now let me turn to that, to what you eat, because this is where the modern world did its cruelest work. Walk into any store in your town and look at the shelves. Rows and rows of boxes and bags and bottles. Bright colors, long names, words on the side of the package that no ordinary person can even say out loud. And every one of those foods was built in a factory by men whose whole job was to make it so you could not stop eating it. That is not a wild claim. That is their trade. They hire men of science to find the exact point where the salt, the sugar, and the fat hit your tongue so hard that your body forgets how to say enough. Now let me tell you what is on the table in an Amish kitchen. Eggs from the hens out back, gathered that morning. Bread that the woman of the house baked with her own 2 hands, from flour and water and salt and nothing else. Butter churned from the milk of the cow you just heard me talk about. Vegetables pulled from the garden not 3 hours before they hit the pot. Meat from an animal that lived its whole life in the field behind the house, eating grass, the way the good Lord intended. A pie, yes, and jam, yes, sweet things, because we are not a joyless people. But sweet things made in the kitchen, from real fruit and real sugar, eaten after real food, not poured out of a bag between meals all day long. Here is the whole difference, and I want you to hold on to it, because it is simple enough that a child could understand it, and the whole food industry has spent a fortune making sure you never do. We eat food. You eat products. Food is a thing that rots. Food is a thing that came from the ground, or the tree, or the animal a short while ago, and if you leave it on the counter it will go bad in a few days because it is alive and it is real. A product is a thing that sits in a bag for 2 years and never changes because there is nothing alive left in it to change. If it will outlast you on the shelf, it will not build you a long life. That is the test. That is the whole test, and it is free. When you go to buy your food, ask one question. Would this rot? If you left it out, would it go bad? If the answer is yes, it is food, and your body knows what to do with it. If the answer is no, it is a product, and it was built to sell, not to nourish. You do not need to count a single number. You do not need a plan from a magazine or a powder in a tub. You need to eat food that rots, mostly from a garden and a farm, cooked in your own kitchen. Do that, and half those bottles on your shelf would have never been needed in the first place. And now I have to stop and be plain with you, because I will not be one of those voices that tells you only the sweet half of the truth. If you are a man or a woman who has real sickness, and a doctor has put you on a medicine, I am not telling you to throw it in the trash. Hear me clearly on that. There are pills that save lives. There are pills that a body truly needs, and the man who tells you to stop them cold is a fool, or worse, and I want no part of him. If you take medicine, you talk to your doctor before you change a single thing. That is not the doctor's fault I am speaking against tonight, and it is not the medicines. What I am speaking against is a whole way of living that fills the shelf in the first place. The Amish are not healthy because they refuse pills. They are healthy because they live a life that never needed most of them. That is a different thing entirely, and it is the thing nobody will sell you, because you cannot put it in a bottle. So keep that honest in your mind as I go on. This is not about the pills you have. It is about the pills you will never need if you start today. Now let me tell you about sleep, because this one costs you nothing, and it may be the one you have broken the worst. When the sun goes down on our farm, the day is nearly done. There is no bright screen glowing in the corner of the room. There is no little glass rectangle in the hand, throwing its cold light into the eyes an hour before bed. There is the soft yellow of a lamp, and then there is the dark. And in that dark, the body does the thing it has done for 10,000 years. It grows tired, it slows, and it sleeps. We rise with the light, and we lie down not long after the dark, near enough. And the body, given a whole long night in true darkness, does its deepest repair work in those hours. It is when the heart rests. It is when the mind sorts out the day. It is when the body mends what the day wore down. Now think of your own nights. The screen in the bed, the light until midnight, the mind still racing over the day's troubles at 1 in the morning, and then the alarm, tearing you out of a sleep you never finished, so that you drag yourself through the whole next day half awake, reaching for something to wake you up in the morning and something to knock you down at night. You cannot buy back sleep in a pill. You can only knock yourself out, which is not the same thing, not at all. Real sleep is free, and it is waiting for you the moment you are willing to give the evening back to the dark. Put the screen out of the bedroom. Let the light go low when the sun goes down. Give the body the long, dark night it was built for. That is a medicine no store can sell you, and it is one of the strongest there is. There is something else that goes with the moving, and the two of them walk hand in hand, so I want to set it down here before I go on. It is the air, and the sun, and the weather itself. An Amish life is lived outside, not looked at through a window, lived in. We are out in the cold of the morning before the frost is off the grass. We are out in the heat of the afternoon with the sun full on our backs. We are out in the wind and the wet and the changing of the seasons, every day, because the work is out there and it does not wait for fair weather. Now the modern world has taught you to fear all of that. Stay in when it is cold or you will catch your death. Stay out of the sun or it will do you harm. Keep the air the same warm, still air, winter and summer, in the house and in the car and in the office, so that a body can go a whole week and never once feel a true breeze or a real chill or the honest heat of the day on its skin. And I tell you, a body kept in that still, warm sameness grows soft and grows sick. It forgets how to be strong. Let me tell you about the sun first, because they have frightened you badly about it. Yes, a man can take too much and burn, and that is real, and I would not tell you otherwise. But the morning sun on your face and your arms is not your enemy. It is one of the oldest medicines there is. The body takes that light, and it makes from it the very thing that keeps the bones hard and the mind bright and the blood in good order. My people are out in it every day, in the season for it, uncovered arms in the field, and their bones stay strong into old age. And I look at how the modern man lives, indoors from dark to dark, under a false light, hiding from the one true light that his own body was built to drink in, and then wondering why his bones go thin and brittle and break at 70 from a small fall. You were not built to live in a box. You were built to live under the sky. And the cold, now. The cold that you have been taught to run from. A little honest cold does not weaken a body. It wakes it. It sends the blood rushing to keep you warm. It puts the heart to work in the good way. It hardens a man against the small sicknesses that lay the soft indoor folk low every winter. I am not telling you to go and freeze. I am telling you that a body that never once feels the cold is a body that has never learned to be strong against it. So here is the whole of it, plain. Get outside. Every single day, in every kind of weather, get your body out under the open sky. Let the morning sun touch your skin. Let the wind find you. Let the cold wake you and the heat work you. Do not spend your one life sealed in a warm, still box, breathing the same dead air, hiding from the very world your body was made to live in. That is free. It is waiting right outside your door, and there is not a soul on this earth who can sell it to you, which is the exact reason no one ever told you it was medicine. And there is one more thing about the way we live that the doctors are only just beginning to measure, though the old people knew it in their bones. It is the thing that I believe matters most of all, and it is not a food, and it is not a movement. It is the people. An Amish man is never alone. He is never carrying his troubles by himself in the dark. When a barn burns down, the whole community comes and raises a new one in a single day, and the man who lost it does not lose one night of sleep wondering how he will manage, because he already knows. When a woman is with child, there are 20 other women who have done it before her and who will be at her side. When a man grows old, he does not go away to a lonely place to be tended by strangers. He stays in the home, with his children and his children's children around him, useful, needed, loved, right up until the end. Now I have seen the way the modern world grows old, and it grieves me. The old man alone in an apartment, the widow who goes 3 days and speaks to no living soul, the worry carried alone, in silence, night after night, with no one to set it down beside. And here is the hard truth of it, the one the science is finally catching up to. That loneliness is not just the sadness, it is a poison. It raises the pressure in the blood, it wears down the heart. It steals the sleep and sours the stomach, and it will take years off a life as surely as any bad habit you can name. A man carrying his fear alone in the dark is a man whose body is under attack every single night. We do not carry it alone. That is our great medicine, and it is the one I most wish I could hand to you across this table, because it is the one you cannot do by yourself. But you can begin. You can pick up the telephone and call the person you have not called. You can sit at the table with your family instead of each of you alone with a screen. You can join with people in a church, in a group, in anything at all where the same faces show up week after week and come to know your name and notice when you are not there. You were not built to carry your life alone. No man was. And the carrying of it alone is doing you a harm you cannot see and cannot swallow a pill to fix. So there it is. That is how an old Amish man reaches 91 and splits a cord of wood in the cold. It was never one secret. It was never a root behind the barn. It was a life. Moving all day, the slow, gentle work the body was built for, out under the open sky in every kind of weather, eating food that rots from the ground and the farm, cooked at home, instead of products from a bag. Giving the evening back to the dark and sleeping a whole long night, and leaning on one another so that no man carries his fear alone. Not one of those things costs a single dollar. Not one of them can be sold to you in a bottle. And that, I am sorry to say, is the exact reason you were never taught them. There is no profit in a walk. There is no profit in an early night. There is no profit in a neighbor. The shelf full of bottles is a good business, and a life that never needed the bottles is no business at all. Jonas does not know any of this, the way I have laid it out for you. He could not tell you a word about blood pressure or blood sugar. He just lives the way his father lived, and his father before him, and the health comes as a gift of the living, the way it was always meant to. You cannot become Amish. I would never ask you to. But you can steal the shape of the thing, starting tomorrow morning, in your own house, in your own town, with the life you already have. Move a little more, eat food that rots, give the night back to the dark, and do not carry your life alone. Start with one, just one, tomorrow. And then let it grow, the way a garden grows, one row at a time. Now I want to hear from you, because I am an old man, and I learn as much from listening as from talking. Tell me down below in the comments, of these 4 things I have laid out tonight, which one is the hardest for you to change? Is it the moving, or the eating, or the sleeping, or the leaning on others? Tell me honestly, because I read them, and I want to know where the real trouble lies for the people who are listening. And that is all I have for you tonight. My prayer is that you take even one small piece of it and carry it into your own life, and that it serves you the way it has served my people for as long as anyone can remember. I will be sitting here again soon, with another of the old ways the world has near forgotten. If you would like to sit with me when I do, and hear the next one, then follow along, and I will save you a place at the table. May you be well, and may you never need the shell.